Hi guys, Howard Flashin here with Roundtable Realty.
And I'm Erin Salem, Director of Marketing Director for Roundtable Realty. That's Director twice.
Yes.
Which I feel is important.
Double important.
To note.
And this is the first episode of The Independent with Roundtable Realty.
Welcome.
Where we basically just talk about topics and things like that, and real estate oriented, but also life oriented and things like that.
And this morning when Howard told me that he had some topics prepared, I thought he said tapas prepared, and I was so excited.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
In the future, we might consider
I said, actually, I felt like we should be eating during every...
tapas on the Independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's... And we get sponsors that provide food, you know?
This is actually just for us.
Yes. I don't care what information we give.
Yeah.
But we yesterday we want to thank David Heekin for having us out to the cabana at the Jags game. It was a terrible game.
Horrible.
Yeah, it was
really disappointing.
One of the worst games I've ever seen.
However, being in a cabana, I cared less about the game.
Yeah, it was nice. They had food,
the
pool,
drinks,
the Instagram models that were let in,
which was disconcerting.
Weird.
It was weird with our children in the pool.
Yeah, lots of selfie action.
But I'm happy for them.
Why?
Look at all of their tightness.
Instagramishness.
Yes. But it was great. It was a super fun day. So thank you so much to David Heekin for taking us.
It was great. And I also wanted to mention, the thing that happened this week that was a big deal in my life. Yeah.
Oh my God, what is it?
It was Rowan and the Sharpie in my office.
So tell everyone who Rowan is.
Oh yes, Rowan is my 2-year-old. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she got a hold of a Sharpie pen in my office while my wife had a bout of strep throat, and so she was laid up, and I actually learned of it on Facebook at the same time that you all did.
Oh, you did? I did. It was like seeing it on the news.
Yeah. And so she basically had almost an hour, I'm guessing.
Wow.
With the Sharpie in my office. So there is a white couch that is now zebra striped.
Ooh.
My chair. At the desk, everything. She even did it on her face.
Yeah.
So that was great.
That's fabulous.
Yeah,
and it could have been an hour, it could have been 4 minutes with a 2-year-old.
You don't know.
It doesn't take that long to destroy an entire room.
Yeah, you don't know.
So.
Yeah. So, real estate wise, if we should get onto that. One of the
Howard's going to surprise me with a topic each week.
Yeah.
Which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, well, I have a few topics. So
great.
Yeah. Some of these you probably won't know about because you don't come from the real estate world.
I don't.
Originally.
So it makes me so good at my job.
Yeah, you're not boxed into what expectations are.
Exactly.
That's right. So how about this?
Yeah.
That there is now becoming more and more common for sellers, home sellers, to be videotaping and audio recording agents and their clients when they're walking through houses.
Why is that?
Well, because you have all of these smart things in the home, right? Alexas and all.
Right.
Nest cams and all stuff. And they're sitting there live watching you go through the house with your agent.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
So do you think that's a good thing?
Well, one, it's a violation. So, they are allowed video surveillance, and that's a box that they check to let people know that they're being video surveilled.
Right.
Which is an interesting way to say that.
That is.
And but audio is not supposed to happen.
Really?
But who's gonna know?
I don't know. Who is gonna know?
Well,
could they use it against someone later?
Well, negotiation.
Oh, so if they overhear them talking about, that's a violation. I would like to spend this much. We have this much to spend, but we're only going to tell them we have this much to spend. And the seller and the seller could use that to say, well, we know because we were surveilling you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that seems like a major violation. So how do we combat that? I mean, here we're not going to do that.
You just assume you're being watched and listened to at all times.
At all times.
Yeah. I'll tell you the other thing that gets me on that is, we're big proponents of educating our agents here on the differences between single agency and transaction broker and how that applies to clients and customers. But what if someone from another brokerage is a transaction broker where they have just as much responsibility each party, and they're walking through a home saying things about the home that they shouldn't be saying as a transaction broker.
Right.
So as a seller, I'm watching this agent walk through a house going, ooh, I don't like this house.
Good morning.
Hi, Bailey.
Live on TV.
Yeah, hi, Bailey. That's Bailey. And that's Jen right there. Say hi, Jen. Yeah. But yeah, what if they're walking through the house and they're saying things that they shouldn't be saying about the home? Like, this is outdated floor plan, or this is terrible kitchen
and it's
cabinets.
all caught on.
Right.
So then the seller could come back and say, you're not allowed to say all that.
Right, because you're a transaction broker.
Right.
You shouldn't have been saying that.
Huh.
Interesting, right?
See, it is interesting. So how does Roundtable combat stuff like that? I mean, what do we do to keep people from making these ethical and I guess sometimes legal mistakes?
Well, we would tell our Baileys and our Jens and all of our agents that they're being surveilled at all times.
Yeah.
So just assume
that
you're being listened to when you're in the house, and tell your customers and clients that.
Yeah.
You know, let them know. Listen, guys, it's everywhere. It's
everybody's got a
24/7.
smartphone. Everybody's
right.
got an Alexa. Everybody's got a camera system in the house, and they're using it.
Right.
Interesting.
So just tell them all the time, and then we educate everybody on agency and how to. I mean, most realtors that join us from another brokerage, they when they learn about agency again or refresh from when they were in school, they go, "Wow, I didn't know that."
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just educate.
Yeah, I was surprised when I first came here to Roundtable to learn about agency. It was obviously something that real estate's not in my background, so it was obviously a surprise to me all around. But just learning that there are different ways that you are allowed to approach buyers with different brokerages and sellers, and what you're allowed to disclose and what's required of you, I had no idea. So, like you always say, single agency is kind of a no-brainer. That's how you want to act as a person in the world. You want to be obedient and loyal and keep things in confidence, honest.
Yeah.
And you can't do that if you're being videotaped.
It's hard. Yep.
All right, what's the next one? That was very interesting.
So let me tell you about guaranteed sale programs.
Okay,
how about this?
Okay.
I will come to you if you want to sell your home.
Yeah.
And you are on the internet and you look at a website and it says, if I'm going to come to your house, and if I don't sell your home in arbitrary date, 60 days, I'll buy it.
You'll buy it.
I'll buy it. So I get the appointment with you, of course, right?
Yeah.
You want to meet me?
Yeah.
Right.
You're just gonna buy my home if it doesn't sell?
Yes.
For what I want to pay for? Found it. Found the rub. Okay.
So I'm gonna buy it for a certain percentage below appraised value.
Oh.
So maybe 20% off? You wouldn't do that?
That's a lot of money that I'd just be throwing away. Did you tell me that to start with?
No.
Oh, second rub.
But here's the thing. You don't have to do that.
Right? But
you could just list your home with me and we'll just put it on the market naturally and see what we get.
Okay.
But I got in the door.
That's smart and sneaky and tricky.
Yeah, kind of bait and switchy.
Yeah, very bait and switchy. I don't care for that at all.
Yeah.
And that's happening a lot?
Well, I don't know about a lot, but it is happening.
Huh. So somebody comes to you, says, I'm going to list your house.
Well, don't you want to meet with me?
Yeah, don't you want to meet with me? Because if your house doesn't sell, I'm gonna buy it for 20% off.
Ish.
Yeah. Could be more.
Could be
off. Huh.
And if the market's shifting, which we'll talk about in a second, maybe it's 25.
Oh, the market's shifting?
Potentially.
Okay, let's slide into that. What's going on with the market shifting?
So
I thought it was a seller's market.
So July and August and early September are always really slow. It's back to school. You know, lots of people are busy with vacations and things like that. So it's always kind of a slower time. You're just used to that.
Yeah.
But every July, August, September, I have agents and myself kind of going, well, what's going on out there? Like, it's feeling a little...
We gonna...
Yeah, are we going to do that?
We're all going to starve, or...?
No, I don't think we're going to starve.
Okay, well, that's good.
It's, it feels funky.
Yeah.
You know, a little...
Smushy.
A little smushy.
Uh-huh.
That's a good word. And the question is at some point, does that turn into a buyer's market?
Switches.
Right.
Okay.
Shifts.
Is that what's happening?
Well, we don't know, right? But if it is happening and it's becoming a buyer's market, it doesn't go off like that. it transitions.
Okay.
And that's always the tough part, because a buyer's market's fine too. A seller's market's fine. It doesn't necessarily matter what market.
Right.
We're always going to help people achieve their goals.
Right.
But it's that in-between spot, the transition, that really freaks people out. Because what happens initially is that sellers don't realize that that's happening. So they don't want to negotiate as aggressively. You know, they don't want to make it happen. But also buyers don't want to come up.
Right.
So you kind of get into this standoff for a good long duration of time, like 6 months.
And if you maybe get some misinformation from your realtor who says, oh, it's a seller's market, and then you're sort of in that shift as things are starting to move and change, you've got this idea that, oh, well, my home's going to sell, no problem, it's a seller's market. And then as things shift, they're going, well, why isn't my home selling? You said it was a seller's market.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there was an article about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Inman.
In Inman.
By a guy named Carl Medford.
Okay.
Yeah. And he said that there are 10 things that we need to do to get sellers ready and us to be ready for a potential buyer's market.
Shift. Okay.
Yeah.
What
you want to know them?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. So
did you write them down?
I did.
Okay, good.
Okay. The first one is that us agents need to memorize what these markets look like.
Okay.
Which seems pretty simple. Although a lot of agents haven't ever seen a buyer's market.
Why?
Because they're new.
Oh.
You know, the market's been pretty easy for a lot of newer agents for a long time, so they've all been getting their licenses and so
now this is where the pros really
they've seen this before, so maybe they will be better prepared for it. Okay, and so the second thing is to understand the seller's motivation, because see, in a seller's market, a lot of sellers will say to Bailey, "I just want to test the market." They don't really know whether or not they're going to sell.
Yeah, they just want to see.
Right.
So they just list it.
And they price it higher. It's almost like on Zillow, there's that make me move price, which could be $1 million.
Right.
$1 million.
$1 million.
Right, which I'll move too.
Absolutely.
Right.
In a heartbeat.
Right.
But
so
who's going to pay you that?
Right.
So seller's motivation.
Right. Seller's motivation is important. You know, sometimes they need to move for a job. It's a little different. You got to have that conversation with them.
Yeah.
And then data. The realtor has to know the data daily, basically, to be able to say to the seller when they call you up and say, "Why isn't my home selling?" You have to be able to say, "Well, let me show you some data of what's going on."
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the next thing is to prepare properly. Agents have to prepare and get their sellers prepared, which involves 3 P's.
Okay.
Prepare.
Yes.
Price.
Yes.
And then promote.
Ah.
Yeah.
Price being the sticking point.
In this particular
right.
Mm-hmm. But you know, I was thinking promotion too a lot, because the market's been so easy for newer agents who maybe haven't had the resources to advertise, that advertising promotion is going to get more expensive. You're going to have to do more,
right?
Spend more money,
yeah.
Market the houses,
to get,
yeah, and that could be something that pops
okay.
up. Okay, the fifth one is nail the pricing.
Oof.
Okay, right, that's hard.
Yeah,
but
especially right now. Because of this shift, right?
Well, it could be a shift. We don't know if it's really happening. Right.
Okay.
So the thing that can happen with nail the pricing is we've all had a lot of sellers recently who, again, I would just want to test the market. And they price it higher. Like you go in and say, I'll say, Erin, I want to sell your home. I think it'll land somewhere between $800,000 and $850,000. Mm-hmm. And you'll say, well, I want to try $875,000.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
And as an agent, though, you have to say, okay.
Well, no, but in the hot market that they've had for the last 4 years, I might doubt that I'm dead on in my 800 and 850. I'm like, all right, well, let's try 875 then.
Okay.
Okay. Well, now, since I'm going to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars marketing your home, and it potentially might not sell at 875, and you're going to get mad at me 150 days later when it hasn't sold, I might be more apt to say, no, we're not going to try 875.
Right.
Or maybe I'm not your agent. That could happen. Because there's always realtors out there who will price something at 875, 900, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But will they spend the money to market your home?
Right.
You know, they start to tailor
to get the
that
word.
back in. Right.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay. Response time, I think, is a given in this day and age. You just have to respond to leads.
Immediately.
Anyone who inquires,
absolutely,
we got to get on it fast.
There's no excuse right now.
Right.
I mean, we're not using the fax machine, and the carrier pigeons are out. So with all the technology we've got in our pockets.
Western Union,
all the right. It's not as popular.
Is that home still available? Really? It's dated
6
like
weeks
1986.
Yeah.
All right. Sellers are going to have to know their options, and this is where they're going to have to turn to their realtor professional, their real estate professional, to advise them on things like rate buy downs, which people haven't heard in a long time.
What's that mean?
So we're talking about negotiations and incentives here for buyers to buy our home. And so what I could do is I could team up with a lender in town to offer a special where, let's say you're going to qualify for the home and the going rate right now is, 4.875%.
Okay.
Well, I'm willing to buy your rate down on my home, which is usually 1/8 of a point in rate is 1 point of the loan. Boom.
Okay.
Some jargon there.
Blah.
Yeah. Well, so it might be a little bit of money for me to buy that rate down for you to 4.5%. And I'm going to do that for you.
Oh. What's the catch?
Costs me money.
Ah.
There's the rub.
There's the rub. So it costs the realtor money to do that.
The seller.
The seller money to do that.
It's the same as like buying
I see.
closing.
The seller's money. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I might pay a buyer's closing costs.
Yeah.
I might even offer agent bonuses.
Oh.
Yeah, so they'll show my home more.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of agent bonuses, but
It sounds a little shystery.
What I love is when when an agent does a listing and they offer a discounted commission, which is fine, and then they offer an agent bonus, which is weird. Like why do that? Like it's just silly.
Just leave the commission what it was.
Whatever it was, because there is no set commissions in real estate.
Right.
But
it's negotiable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Negotiable.
I learned that recently.
Yep. All right. The last, not number 9, number 9 is to polish skills, and this goes back to what we were talking about before, where a lot of the pros that have been in this business for a long time might be very successful in a market shift because they have these skills. They may not have had to use them in a long time,
but they've got them.
They just need to polish those skills.
Okay.
Things to talk
about.
So
what's name a skill or two that might need a little polish?
Overcoming objections. When buyers have an objection
so communicating with the buyer about, I understand your objection to this, and this.
Right.
What would they then say? Here's the flip side to that, or here's...
But remember, as a transaction broker, which in the state of Florida, all realtors are transaction brokers to start by default.
Okay.
When they're presenting these different options to buyers for their objections, they still have to make sure that they're leaving it to the buyer to make their decisions.
Okay.
As a single agent, you can actually offer advice and things like that.
Right.
It's definitely a different thing there.
Right.
But overcoming objections is one of those polished skills.
Okay.
And then you could transition polishing skills into how do you market a home? Do you know how to market a home?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, huge skills.
Yep. And then finally, number 10 talks about what we were talking about a little earlier, which is, realtors sometimes can buy a listing. And what I mean versus the guaranteed sale program is your home, I told you 800 to 850. You say I want 875, and you met with 4 realtors.
Okay.
And all three realtors said they wouldn't go to 875.
Okay.
But I will.
Okay.
I bought a listing.
Okay.
So now I get to put a sign in your yard and get leads. Your home may never sell. And in the back of my mind, I'm going, we overpriced it, blah, 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 blah.
But you don't care because...
I got a sign in the yard.
You got a sign in the
yard. And I just hate that. I think that's terrible.
I do too.
Yeah.
Just the sound of it.
Right.
It's not client focused. It's...
Right. I'm sitting in your living room, family room, and I'm talking to you and your husband saying, I'm going to work really hard to sell your home. And I'm in the back of my mind going, no, it's never going to sell.
It's never going to sell at this price.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And then I imagine that happens more than we'd like to know about, because especially if you're somebody that's kind of in this business just for the money or just for the business side and not for the actual serving of people, there's a lot of signs in yards.
Yes.
That are just there to be signs in yards.
And usually after a while they look bad, and I've forgotten about your sign because I moved on. And so your sign's kind of looking not so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this has been fascinating.
I thought we would end with talking about food.
Well, that's my favorite subject.
So I had a lovely friend of ours take me and my wife to Capitol Grill Saturday night.
Ooh, Capitol Grill at the Town Center, in Jacksonville.
And I had the bone-in ribeye, and it comes with some... Although I will say, it said porcini glaze.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was pepperoncini.
Oh.
Like those little things that come in the Papa John's.
Those are mushrooms.
Yeah.
Porcini mushrooms.
Yeah.
Howard doesn't cook much.
No, but it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
And, oh my God, I love that place.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite food there?
And literally any of the steaks. I've never had a steak there that I didn't absolutely love. And every side. I mean, I'll tell you what. I've never had a bad meal there. I think I've eaten there about
Brussels sprouts. Have you had the Brussels sprouts?
Yes.
They're really great.
Those are top notch.
Yeah.
And I like a Brussels sprout, but their Brussels sprouts.
A good Brussels sprout.
I like a good sprout.
But if you can really screw up Brussels sprouts.
Oh, smushy, soggy.
Yeah.
They taste like old cabbage if you're not careful.
They smell terrible.
They smell like toots. Like toots.
Oh, Lord. And here I thought we were going to make it a whole show without that.
I'm just letting my true colors shine through.
I see them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for watching our little show here, The Independent with Roundtable Realty. Say bye, Bailey.
Bye.
And bye, Jen.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time.